Wind shear is a concern at Salt Lake International Airport. Wind shear is the sudden change in wind speed or direction that can make it difficult for pilots to control their airplanes. And the National Transportation Safety Board wants the FAA to look into improving the airport's detection systems. Fox 13 News executive reporter Sean Moody has the concern, the science, and crash that put a spotlight on this problem.
2 years ago, a Cessna 208 cargo plane crashed on a runway at Salt Lake City International Airport when the pilot encountered a microburst while landing.
Salt Lake Tower, good afternoon, Airspur 7727, visual 248.
That's the radio communication from the plane, Airspur 7727, arriving into Salt Lake. The tower clears it to land following a Delta commercial jet, but as the jet taxis off the runway, the crew informs the tower they encountered some shifting winds as they landed, prompting the tower to issue an alert to pilots.
Wind shear alert, runway 34 right approach and departure 15 knots loss over the runway.
Moments later, as the cargo pilot is about to touch down, he encounters a gust of wind.
Airspur 7727, we're going around.
Airspur 7727, roger. Climb, maintain 9,000 and fly straight out. Fly runway heading. Airspur 7727, tower. Hey, 7727 just crashed on the runway.
The pilot survived with a minor injury. The NTSB determined the cause as the pilot's inability to maintain control when he encountered a microburst and tried to abort the landing. They also said a contributing factor was an inadequate amount of wind sensors and wind shear detection equipment.
Here's a visualization of what we're talking about. This is a time lapse from the University of Utah's Department of Atmospheric Sciences from July 2nd, 2 weeks ago. It's a great example of a downdraft like you'd see in a microburst and the resulting outflow of winds once the downdraft reaches the ground. Now, on this day, airplanes were taking off and landing to the north from left to right here on your screen. Once that outflow moved into the area, though, the prevailing wind quickly changed, becoming a tailwind, causing a sudden reduction in the speed of air flowing over the airplane's wings. Now, here's why that can be a concern. In order for an airplane to generate lift, it must have air flowing over the wing at a particular speed. That's why they take off and land facing into the wind. These sudden shifts in wind speed and direction can create challenges for a pilot trying to maintain control, or could even create a condition where their airspeed gets dangerously low.
Tower Alpha 1801's going around. We got a wind shear.
This is ATC audio from the day of that time lapse we just showed you. Wind shear created challenges for several pilots trying to get into the airport. This plane and several others were able to eventually safely land.
And everybody awaiting departure right now. We've had several missed approaches, and we've reported wind shift of 800 CHO 50 knots, but nobody's going anywhere right now.
The NTSB's investigation into the 2022 crash found that Salt Lake's ATC management requested that the FAA update the surface weather system and asked for 5 additional wind sensors, but it was denied for budgetary reasons. The report said, quote, the SLC tower's current lack of capability to maintain real-time awareness of microburst activity near and around the airport has led to recurring instances of pilots unexpectedly encountering sudden changes in wind direction and speed. Such encounters have the potential to result in more critical outcomes than the SLC events described, end quote. They urged the FAA to expand the low-level wind shear alerting system at Salt Lake, adding more wind sensors to detect and warn pilots of microbursts. Salt Lake Airport officials referred us to the FAA. We'll update you as soon as we hear back about what the next steps might be. In Salt Lake City, Sean Moody, Fox 13 News, Utah.